something comes at you and you ask yourself, am I good at this? Or do I have value that I can bring to this project? If there's a yes, then you look at it deeper. Okay, the project itself, is it going to create value, generally speaking, for society, for other people? If so, then, and then, you have a number of positives that give you a reason to go into that. No? And if you have time and desire, why not? And then you can bring meaning to your work, meaning to life, meaning to society, because you have something to give to that. But this is directly connected to sales and marketing.
Yeah.
Because it's all about intention. If you have the right intention that's like razor sharp, like sun rays, and is focused, you can achieve miracles. And this is what the top salespeople do.
Exactly.
This is exactly what Jan did, but with the 42K marathon.
Exactly.
It's about that intention. Is it sharp enough? Is it focused enough? Is it determined enough? And it comes back to the same thing.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because in the sales department or the sales area, I'm very bad because I cannot force myself to have focus on selling things. I don't know, when you create something and you have to sell it because you have to pay for it, it's not good. So you two should maybe tell me a little about what should I do to be better in
But let me ask you a
sales.
question. If we all had the same desires and talents, would we actually be here? What use what use would I have for Tommy or Matteo, for you, if I had the same desire and the same talents as you? Because we would just be repeating ourselves. Isn't that like the big issue right now in marketing or in sales? That driving, repeating, instead of creating real value.
But I thought you have a magic wand to tell me about to use to be better at digital marketing.
We do.
We have some ideas.
Yeah.
Let's say something like that, yeah. And I think that every journey starts, I believe like that, but probably every marketeer has different approach how to tackle, daily marketing tasks. But I truly believe that everything starts within ourselves. If you are, for me personally, I normally try to always have in place my mind, my heart, my body and my soul. And if you are working on yourself internally, then it's much easier for you also to have external results, like being more productive, have a better performance, maybe being more creative or something like that. I read, for example, your books, Jan, and it's such a creativity in them that for sure needs to be written by someone who really has all those 4 empires really in place. So yeah, and I think in every aspect of life it's similar. If you have some, as Paul mentioned before, some desires or some intention, what do you want to do in life, you just need to connect with yourself and then just go for it. If it is marketing, if it is, writing a book, if it is, being a parent, for example, or just, being a teacher, it doesn't matter. If it is desire, intention, and then you go for it and you have in place all your internal empires, then I think that's a way to go, yeah.
Internal work, Paul?
Definitely.
What kind of internal work?
Well, the interesting thing is the magic wand. We all have it. Every single human being has it.
Yeah.
But is one willing? Does one have the courage and the energy to use it? That's the big question for everyone. Yeah. Everything Tommy is saying is absolutely 100% true, and it all comes back to this fire. We are balls of energy. We create energy. Every single day we get up and we create all kinds of energy. Yeah? And it's connected obviously to the feelings, to the mind. But we have a fire here. We have our own little sun. Everyone is like the sun, this electromagnetic possibility here. And what we do with it is actually potential magic wand. So if we come back to Tommy and what he's saying, if the person has the discipline to work on themselves on a daily basis, and look inside first, and have their routines in the morning, like so many people do, yeah, this fire becomes very powerful, and it affects, even if you don't want, it actually begins to affect, because it emanates, it creates an aura, it goes out. This is all proven scientifically. Just like the sun, right? With its rays, it goes out and it affects people. You don't have to tell people what to do. The energy does it. Right? So we all have a magic wand, but are we willing to use it? Or have we been, subdued? Have we been threatened or terrorized by norms and society or family or one thing or another, or mistreated in life, and hence we are not ready to use it? Right? But some people are using that. And I think everyone has the magic wand, if you want to put it that way. Right? But are we willing to work on ourselves? You've seen what, you have the dedication and discipline to go out there and train for 16 weeks straight, but lots of people don't have that energy, so they have to start at with smaller doses of this courage, of this intention, of this going in. I believe that the entire universe is actually inside. And what's outside is Maya. It's actually an illusion that we create. We create the illusion.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what to do with this illusion? I think this is what we're here to talk about today. Marketing, sales, how to become a better marketeer, how to deal with this illusion that we've created.
Yeah.
But the magic wand, I think that we all have it. And make no mistake, I spent 30 years of my life being in debt and chaos before I saw clarity and started to work inside. So I'm no saint or some kind of special magic wand person here. I had to do my work internally too.
But I'd like to know a little bit more about routines that you two do, so we can hear which routines take you to this path inside.
Me personally, I do a lot of focus on my morning rituals. So, for example, when I wake up in the morning, first thing is just to take a deep breath. It's like, for me, it's like when we wake up, it's like we are reborn. And once we were born, first thing we did was we took a deep breath. And normally it's like that. If you start the day with some kind of a breathing exercise, it's like a meditation. For example, breathing in peace, exhaling stress. Breathing in strength, exhaling insecurity or something like that. And if you're doing that kind of a meditation or breathing exercise for maybe 10, 15 minutes, just to start the day, it just helps all your internal body enormously, or also emotions and mindset and so on. And after that, I think it's time for a little bit of gratitude. We all have something to be grateful for. It could be food on the table or in the fridge. It could be a roof over our head. Could be warm bed. Could be healthy sun. Could be healthy me. And I think being grateful is the mother of receivership. So if you want to receive, I think gratefulness it's a pretty big step to go in. And then after that, it's a time as well also for visualization. How you want that your day is gonna last. What do you want to achieve? What kind of tasks, also business tasks, you are seeing yourself that you are actually achieving. That's how also you can increase performance. And after those three things I normally do in my bed, I just then take shoes and hit the road to the forest. Because physical activities, what it does, if you sweat a lot, just release BDNF. So it's brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which is miraculous molecule for the brain growth. And if you are the one who wants to do something in this world, then it's a big link between you moving and brain optimization. And but it's not just about BDNF, it's about releasing serotonin, the release is responsible to having extremely focus. And if you have a lot of norepinephrine, it's much easier than to put away telephone and just do your thing. And of course, as well, with the physical activities in the morning, you decrease cortisol also. So I think the physical activities with combination with all this gratitude, meditation, breathing exercises can help you with all this internal state. And when you have internal state properly set up, then it just automatically you're gonna improve your external efforts, like being more productive, more creative, more have better performance, which can then be based because of your internal work. Also, your clients actually can see better results if you're working with them. Something like that. Yeah.
Paul, I'm sure you would add something.
Yeah, I have similar processes. Breathing is definitely water, warm water, and breathing. First thing in the morning and last thing before retiring to bed. Death, for me, death is the law. And everything else is just a possibility or an illusion. Depends how you want to look at it. So this death is actually very interesting because the more you treat it as the law, it becomes your friend and becomes your companion. Not just once a week or once a month, but from moment to moment to moment, each step that we take. And everything that we do becomes very interesting. Treating death as a friend, as your best advisor. And it's difficult to do that without the breathing exercises or warm water, cold water exercises. My routine is very similar but slightly different. For years I spent sitting not for 10 or 15 minutes, but for 2 to 3 hours. Absolute stillness. And coming to the realization that actually it's great, going, but it's selfish. Ultimately, it's selfish. And if I want to be part of community, society, I need to communicate. Call it sharing, call it communicating, call it sodelovania, call it, being one with. So I started to walk. And I read from the very, very old scripts that all the wise people actually walked the planet. So I started walking. So my meditation for many years now is walking. And when I'm walking, I'm doing the yin yang, the yoga thing. How does that look? Colors, auras. Yeah. So you're walking and you're working with violet, with white, with green, with blue. Yeah, with all these colors around you, and ultimately gold, which is the color of ether, if there is a color of any kind at all. And these colors are really amazing because they touch. If every single person, if you were to put the right type of camera on a person, you will see their aura in colors, and then maybe an hour later or a day later, very different again. Yeah. And we're all emanating these colors according to our feelings, our thoughts. And synchronizing the yin-yang inside and outside is great to go inside, but it can be quite selfish. If you're not afraid, you can go in and in and in. But ultimately you realize that actually we are here to communicate, and we are social creatures. We need one another. I couldn't be who I am without you, Jan, or without my family, without my friends, without my work colleagues. So realizing that we actually depend on one another and need one another is where we get this strength and idea and motivation that we need to, as well as going in, we need to be going out. But where's the right balance? So mine comes with walking, breathing, working with colors, and what kind of aura am I carrying today? Because some days I have a really shitty aura, and I need to put it right first thing in the morning. Yeah. And at night if I want to sleep well. So that's the kind of work I do, But always very mindful that if I'm doing a certain amount internally, I should also be doing a certain amount externally, because otherwise, why am I here? What's the point of being here? So, and I'm in real estate and I'm in marketing, yeah? digital marketing. What do I have to offer if I'm not bringing a balance to the in and out, yin and yang, all the factors? So what do I actually have to offer? Am I just creating more rubbish for the planet, or am I creating something that's going to actually be worth something there? So this is one of the pillars that we have at the studio there, collectively, not me, collectively. All the members agree on this. Let's try, not that we fail sometimes, but let's try and focus on real value, what really matters, and try and make money at the same time. It's not easy, eh? So,
Yeah.
So listening to you, I had an idea, because morning rituals and other rituals are great stuff, because I think they are just training exercise, because in reality life is a meditation. So you live the meditation all the time, but you learn how to do it by doing the rituals, because it's like training exercise when I ran for 16 weeks and then ran marathon, but life is marathon actually.
Yeah, but
it's my question is, how do you expand this?
You don't.
To everything, to your work, to your day studio, to everything. How do you expand this?
You don't.
Meditation?
The universe does. Oh, the center of the planet is directly connected to the sun. The sun is directly connected to the star system outside, and everything is connected. And we think that we are so special, and in some ways we are, but then we're not, because we are also connected on a micro level to this system. So if one actually works on the equilibrium of their fire, the resonance, the vibrations will automatically emanate that kind of energy. Of course, visualization and focus, you can bring it down and work with certain vibrations, certain frequencies, if you become really focused. And some people misuse that and manipulate. Some people use it and serve for the better, for the larger benefit. However, it's almost like programming a computer. We program ourselves, but on an energy level, on a vibrational level, on a frequency level. That's why it's so important what Tommy is saying, is that these disciplines have to be carried out every day, and then you can almost forget about them. If you have an hour, half an hour, 2 hours every day, the body is amazing. I mean, you said meditation all day long. One of the main things for me is to continuously observe my body, because my body is telling me more than my mind. There's more value what my body is telling me, because the mind is oscillating all over the place. What my blood, what my nervous system, what my muscles, the whole biological system is telling me, it has much more real value. So, bringing that back to how we emanate, if we can bring that into equilibrium and walk that and do that every day, you don't have to actually think about what am I doing. The body is doing it. Our bodies are amazing. And I think Yogananda, who has the Kriya Yoga approach, he said, if only you would wake up, you would see that it's in this body that we can touch the universe. It's because of the body, not because of the mind. Because of the body that we can touch the universe. It's because of the body that we have the potential to move to infinity. Not the mind. But we continuously put all this focus, and the mind will work anyhow, whether we like it or not. But the body is much more intelligent than we give it credit for,
But I think this brings us to the second pillar, because to know all that you need knowledge.
Yes,
exactly.
And the second pillar is knowledge, Tomaž.
Well, yeah, of course. If you're internally, established or something like that, of course, if you have some kind of a tasks related to a specific field, in our case, is that marketing. Of course, you need to know something about it. From my perspective, I think one of the biggest steps to become, let's say, better marketeer is just to be a student as well every day, because this field is changing so fast, and you just need to be adaptable. You just need to learn new things, and if you wake one day and you just said to yourself, okay, I'm a master on this field, you're just behind. Immediately the competition is going to overtake you, and I think being a student, actually, from my perspective, that's the right path to become better marketeer or better in any kind of field you're working on. But of course, it's not enough just to learn. It's even maybe more important just to take action as well, just to jump into the water, jump into the pool, start swimming, and learn from the mistakes. And even better if it is done by investing your own money into the tests. It could be some ads Gaspar mentioned previously, or I don't know, maybe time investing when you're making some kind of a web page, blog, or whatsoever. And because why? When you are spending some others' money, you're not so focused exactly what's going on. When you're investing your own money, you know exactly what's going on. You pay close attention to every little detail. And once you know little details, they can be extremely helpful for any kind of goals our clients, for example, have. So I think knowledge is important one, but just if you think that you have a knowledge, then it means that your ego is gonna, just wants to shake hands, and I'm here, I'm the best. But that's for sure. You need to take a step back and just to know that you do not know actually anything, learn a lot, take action, and with that kind of approach, I believe that there is some kind of possibility that we can help as a company or individual to specific marketing goals, supporting our clients. Yeah.
So Paul, what do you think? First two pillars. If you look at your team from the distance, how does your team reflect these two pillars? What do I see?
What do I see?
Yeah.
Yeah. I see, what I see is that we have this altogether about 18 of us, some full-time, some not, but everyone is working from their own home or their own setup, and from different countries. I see that we have very individual type of characters who want to be part, who want to be sovereign, who are looking for some sort of freedom, some sort of satisfaction in life, and want to be part of a model where they can make money, but they decide. I'll come to this. They decide. Yeah, they decide more or less what they're going to do, when they're going to do it, how they're going to do it, and this is what they appreciate. Because of that, they are willing to take a risk. So I see a number of people who are taking a risk to be with us in this model. And they know what the risk is, but they appreciate the other side, that they can actually be sovereign to some level of some degree. Yeah. And this comes back again to what Tommy is saying, is that the more we know, the more knowledge we have, the more we study, the more we realize that less we know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this path of studying will never end if we want to use life and death and life to the max. Yeah. We will be students until we are, we transform into whatever other energy we transform into. Yeah. However, I would bring us back to the word focus, because the more we know and the less we know at the same time, it brings us to this continuous, more and more to this question, well, why? Why do I want to do marketing? Or why do I want to be married to this person? Or why do I want to provide some value to these companies? Or why? Yeah? And the only way, for me, this why begins to make sense is when we begin with clarity to choose and have focus, yeah, on the things that really matter to us Each person has different talents, different desires, different fears, right? This is a given. We all have fears and desires. Right? You could argue that every desire is based on a fear, but let's not go there today. But so pretty much what we act out is based on these fears and desires in life. And then the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And the more we know, and the more we do, and the more we achieve, this question of why and what's really worth doing. So here, focus is very important, because with focus, we can start to bring real value to the things that matter. So with time, most people come to this conclusion that the more we know, less we know. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So what to do with it? Comes back to the same thing, focus. And meditation is one of the main tools that brings us to the ability to focus and choose when we need to focus on right now being objective, right now being subjective. Yin and yang, or yoga. Yeah. If we're going to be effective in life and we live, you are there, I'm here, I can touch you, you can touch me. So we are talking about this one concept, if you like, but we are living in duality. I think we spoke about this before, this duality. We are in duality. What to do with it? If I have focus, if I have clarity, and if I'm observing, we can choose. Now I'm being objective, now I'm being subjective. And then the why, what to do with this, begins to make sense. Because then we can see where our intention is going, what we are doing with our actions, and the result of that. It's not willy-nilly, it's not just spontaneous. But I think this, for the formula of society and economics, and the fact that you have to go shopping and you have to put petrol in the car and kids go to school and so on, doesn't leave enough time for a lot of us to have the energy, free energy, to be doing this kind of internal work, to prepare ourselves for this kind of continuous self-observation and then external observation, and bringing this together, objective, subjective living.
We stepped deep onto the path to the spirituality with the first two pillars. That makes me wonder, how does the third pillar incorporate into this? Because I think it's quite the opposite from the first two pillars, artificial intelligence. I think it's in some kind of conflict with at least first.
Well, I'm going to go to Tommy, but I'll just say this. For me, I see it as yin-yang, once again. I see them both working together. So in some cases, it may seem to be the opposite. I don't see it as the opposite. I see it as a complementing part. But Toby, how do you see it? Yeah.
Well, artificial intelligence, it's here. Yeah, that's the fact, and I think it's something that it's at the moment in society. For sure, as far as I know, artificial intelligence does not have consciousness. So I think that's something we are working on. Our consciousness should be working on. So, but in business, why not to use it actually? And if there is someone who does not use it, actually AI at the moment, probably gonna lose in this external world for sure. But you need to, as Paul mentioned, you need to carefully balance internally, externally, yin yang, and what is actually illusion and what is real. But this kind of illusion pays our bills for the electricity, for the petrol, as Paul mentioned before. So, yeah, if we are just trying to look from the business perspective, or from the how we can handle clients or our business, and I think it's AR for sure something we should be considered, and to learn how to use it properly. It can help us with different copywriting, with design, with all the content, with different ads optimization, with scaling, and for sure business results can be achieved faster with all these AI tools. But of course, you need to know how to use it to give them proper instructions to deliver the best possible results. So that's a task every marketer at the moment should be working on. But of course, on the other side, how this change I think it's wise that does not affect your internal balance. Yeah, Paul.
Storytelling. Yeah. As a society, as a tribe, maybe only as 50 people to begin with, and then now going to 50 billion at some point, we're 8B plus. Yeah. We started to interact and exchange and sell to one another in the beginning, without money. Yeah. The money just was a form of exchange. But what's important is storytelling. Because we told each other stories and convinced one another to buy, to take something or exchange something with another. So storytelling is with us from the very beginning. And what we're doing actually with AI, especially now, is going more and more and more and more towards storytelling. What are we doing right here, right now? Why are we recording this video? Because we're going to tell a story of some sort, and people are going to watch it, and some will like it, some will not like it. But, it's storytelling. Yeah. So why is this so important? Because AI is fabulous, and we use it a lot, and it's fantastic. And our clients are using it more and more and more, and we're showing them how they can use it more and more, that they need to be on top of this change and transition on a weekly, monthly basis, because it's really, really transmuting, mutating very quickly. But the AI, would it really be able to do anything if human beings had not created stories? And we were still not creating stories. What would AI actually be able to do without stories? Yeah. So storytelling, I think, is going to continue. And I'm using this analogy to try and demonstrate that AI is fabulous, but let's understand that it's fabulous because it's part of something bigger. AI is not the thing, it's just one element. Coming back to what Tommy's saying, it depends, how to use this. Yeah, it's something that should be used. So, in my mind, AI is part of CI. Yeah, which is the larger reality? Artificial intelligence or cosmic intelligence? Will artificial intelligence actually take over cosmic intelligence? Will it rule cosmic intelligence, or will cosmic intelligence continue, at least for my lifetime, continue to define what's going to happen in artificial intelligence? What I'm trying to say that artificial intelligence is just one more factor within a very large, infinite possibility of our reality.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how would all of us now begin to look at artificial intelligence if all of a sudden we had the ability for 7-dimensional perception in a split second? Yeah? If that's how we were living, 7-dimensional perception right now, what meaning would artificial intelligence have? We would probably develop some other form of intelligence for ourselves. Because maybe artificial intelligence would fall behind, because it does rely on a certain number of machines, on a certain number of quantity of data being processed, and very smart materials that we are robbing the earth of, and using smarter and smarter materials so that we can increase the velocity of a movement of data. Yeah? So, which would actually win the day? Can you give me an answer to that? Would 7-dimensional perception be smarter than AI as we know it, or will AI? So, AI, in my opinion, is a sub-function of the larger reality, and we should know how to use it. Because if you don't know how to use it, then our friends like Musk and others will turn us into humanoids with chips, and this is already happening, and this will happen. We cannot stop it. But I think if you're looking internally, externally every day, at least you have some level of sovereignty. One can decide for themselves: do I want to live with a chip, or do I want to live actually in a slightly different way and have some sovereignty? Marketing is always going to come back, the way I see it, to some sort of storytelling. to bring us together, to convince one another what is, what isn't, and what should be bought, what should be sold, how we should move together, move on, how we should build the next bridge in Ljubljana, for example, and so on and so on. So AI is hugely important right now, and will be. 30s, 1930s, radio and tabloids, they were redefining life as we know it. 60s and 70s, television began to redefine life as we know it. 90s, the internet began to redefine life as we know it. And now AI is redefining life. For sure, this will continue. It's for us to decide, to look inside, look outside, and decide collectively what we want to do with this.
So inner work, knowledge, artificial intelligence. How does these three pillars benefit your customers?
Well, if you combine all of them, actually, you as a personality become better with first one. Yeah. So you are someone that maybe on the other side client can see some good personality with who he wants to talk with. Knowledge is something that you can actually deliver to the client. So actually you can help him or her or consult with whatsoever. And with AI, actually you can optimize their costs. And actually, when you combine everything, I think that's like a little package, without missing anything. That's my conclusion. And we're gonna work it in that kind of way in the future. I think we do not need to worry that we cannot deliver any added value almost to any kind of a client. Yeah.
The word better, I would add, if you don't mind, to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Awareness. Building awareness. Yeah. And I actually hated the whole thing about internet, and I got into it in the 90s when it first started, and we were building and selling computers 2002 and before that in the 90s, and I didn't like online, and I wanted to go back to like when the mobile came out, we had these bricks. And now, of course, then I decided to go full into it later on. Why? I have this architect friend of mine in London, Anupam, and I was a bit lost, and he's always sorted out. He's got a Buddhist center that he runs, but he's really smart. He's an architect, engineer, property developer, and marketeer. And I went to him. I said, you're 70-something. Where do you find the desire, the motivation to keep doing all this? What for? Because after you've done this and that and that and the other, where's the meaning? I mean, it's not about the money, really, So he said to me, it's very simple. Something comes at you, and you ask yourself, am I good at this? Or do I have value that I can bring to this project? If there's a yes, then you look at it deeper. Okay, the project itself, is it going to create value, generally speaking, for society, for other people? If so, then, and then, you have a number of positives that give you a reason to go into that. And if you have time and desire, why not? And then you can bring meaning to your work, meaning to life, meaning to society, because you have something to give to that. And also, society may benefit from that, or clients. So this is the main reason why I changed my whole opinion on marketing and digital marketing especially. And decided, no, I'm going to go into exactly what I don't like, because I see that if we use it in the right way, we can do magic. So coming back to my first word, awareness. So what are we trying to do, as a company? Of course, we want to make money for our clients, and we've with Matej, we've gone, and Tommy, we've gone much with the whole team. Yeah, we are now delivering more services than we ever thought. 11 different type of services, solutions within our network of specialists. In the beginning, we were working just with Google Ads, and before that, just e-commerce. But now, a whole variety. I never dreamed that we would cover all these areas. But the point is that whether it's 1 or 3 or 11 different specialist services that we provide, what we are doing is raising awareness. You can call it raising awareness for the brand, raising awareness for the product. But I like to think that we are raising awareness on an even bigger scale than that. That if I'm working on myself, and if we manage to keep a team of people who are thinking in a similar way of creating value, of course we make mistakes and we don't always get it right, and it's not always 100%, the way we'd like it to be. But if generally speaking we can focus on value, then we are helping to raise awareness, generally speaking, of society. Because that energy, where we started the questions you had in the beginning, energy will emanate. Energy will go out, whether we like it or not. So if we carry a certain intent, walk that intent, work it, put our emotions, put our physical action to it, the energy will emanate and will go out. And we don't have to tell people what to do or what not to do. That energy will do it by itself. Through our work and the way we work and the way we use artificial intelligence.
Okay. Paul, Tomaž, thank you.